Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We're going to be talking about obsessions, obsessions with your exes, or even before they become your exes. But we're going to kind of focus on that because that is an issue for a lot of people here. Um, you have probably noticed that not everybody will obsess about their ex after a breakup. Even if they want the person back. Not everybody will become obsessed and needy and desperate and anxious. Not everyone. This is triggered by something, and we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about why it's bad. And we're going to give some advice around it as well. But, some people, and even, some of my clients, they want their ex back, but they're actually, not in the victim mentality. They're not obsessing. They're not in a low vibration. They simply just want the ex back. So obviously that makes their situation a little bit easier because their vibration is not as bad. Even though the situation might be bad and the ex might be stubborn, but at least their vibration is okay, and that's like a very important step actually, that really helps with everything else. So why does it happen to you and why it doesn't happen to everyone, or maybe why it hasn't happened to you with some other exes and it happened with this specific one? There are a lot of reasons, and basically it does depend on the situation, the person. So to analyze it properly, it's hard to generalize about it, but you do need to be triggered by something, and something inside of you from the past needs to get triggered. So maybe it is the fact that you were abandoned, and this triggered your abandonment issues. Maybe your caregivers or parents or mom or dad abandoned you when you were a kid. Maybe you lost a parent really early on. Maybe your first relationship way back ended badly, so it just kind of brought you back into that period, and that's how you got triggered. So maybe they have started to pull back, and that can really trigger people because you just feel something is off and the other person is not acknowledging it. When you ask, hey, is something wrong? They will say, no, no, but you just know it is because you're feeling their energy. We always feel the energies. This is what I tell you. You know how you always know that something is wrong when you're in a relationship, and you always can tell that their energy has simply changed towards you. And we even call it like that. We will say the energy has changed because we feel energies, and this is everything, right? We are energies, we feel energies, and we kind of need to acknowledge that and become more sensitive to it. So you're gonna feel when a person is like distancing themselves, and even if they gaslight you and tell you, no, no, everything's fine, I'm not doing it, you're imagining it, you just know something's off. And gaslighting basically often will trigger you because it's kind of like you're feeling something's wrong, and then they're telling you you're wrong, and they're not acknowledging your feelings and what you're saying, and it makes you feel bad about yourself, and it kind of triggers that child that was not understood, maybe was neglected, maybe was, lied to, or, things like that, which often happen in a parent child relationship. So basically, the reason why you get obsessed after a breakup is because your inner child is triggered, because you are abandoned and you have abandonment issues, which not everybody has as severe. Nobody will be happy when somebody breaks up with them, and nobody will handle it like perfectly, but not everybody will become needy and obsessed. That's what I'm saying. So you get triggered, and this is when it happens. And when you get that abandonment feelings from the past, it creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear, and you basically kind of get into this mental state where it feels like you're gonna die if this person doesn't come back. And then your brain doesn't allow you to kind of stop focusing on it, and it becomes an obsession basically. And it's really bad when you just think that if you don't text them all the time or call them all the time, that they're just going to forget about you, and you think you need to like text them and try to manipulate them into changing their mind. And you're like basically doing all sorts of things to kind of do that because you are so scared that you're going to lose them forever. And then what happens is most likely they're going to block you. They're going to block you because you are sending texts all the time. You're sending crazy texts all the time, and they're just like, I can't deal with this. So you're basically doing yourself more harm than good. So this is why obsessing is bad, because when you're obsessed and when you're like really needy for somebody, you will kind of do some actions around it. That's the main problem. But the other problem is also just the energy of being obsessed and being needy. But that's another thing. But most likely you're also gonna take some actions towards it, because your neediness will just tell you send another text, and ask all sorts of questions, and then accuse them for things, and just be in that victim mentality, and play a victim, tell them that you're gonna die, that you're gonna kill yourself, all sorts of stuff. And that is extremely bad, and it doesn't look good to the other person clearly. But it just seems like a good idea when you are in that state, and that's the problem. So you gotta be aware that it's a bad idea to send all of those texts. It's a bad idea to act from that state at all. It's a bad idea because most likely you're not going to be able to control your emotions, and you're going to do something that you don't want to do and that you're going to regret later. So it's extremely important to be aware of these things. And kind of know what's going on. That's always the first step. And it does help, even though it seems silly and you're like, yeah, I know, I understand. But you really have to, in that moment, take a deep breath and understand what's happening and what you are doing by sending another needy text. You're not doing yourself any good. And no, this is not helping your case, even though you think it will. It will not. It absolutely will not. You're just getting closer to getting blocked, guys. And you don't want to be blocked because it just makes everything harder. Okay. And then if they block you, that it can be really terrible to handle if you are in that anxious attachment, in that needy energy, because then it seems like this is the end, the final end of everything, and it feels horrible, and you're trying to find other ways to reach out. Don't do that. Respect their boundaries, respect it, and don't do it. Okay, so now that we kind of understand why we get obsessed and we kind of understand why it's a bad idea, let's talk about just from the energetical perspective. So we have kind of discussed that, it's bad to take action when you're feeling like that. But now let's just see what the energy is like. So even if you don't take any actions and you're just in that needy energy, your person will feel it. They're going to feel it just like you felt that they were pulling away, and like you felt that something was off. They're also going to feel that you're needy, and it's not going to be attractive, and it's not the type of energy that is attractive. It's simply not. So another thing is that if you're anxiously attached and you're just prone to fear of abandonment, then when somebody pulls away, you're gonna chase more. You're gonna chase more because you're gonna be afraid that this person will abandon you, which is the opposite of what you should be doing. Because when you chase, they always run. They always run. So that's again not a good idea, and you kind of need to just handle it in a different way. Now, since I said that, let's talk about what you can do to help yourself out, because I'm aware that this is extremely, extremely hard. So, number one thing is you gotta do your vibrational work. And I know it's gonna be difficult, and I know you're gonna be impatient, and I know that you're gonna expect for it to just magically work within a day or two and to feel better within a day or two. That's not gonna happen, and you're gonna have to be patient. And this is a good time to learn patience, because patience is such an important skill. It honestly is, and you're gonna love it once you master it. So look at it as just learning to be patient. And when you do any type of vibrational work, whether you're doing exercises, meditations, shadow work, journaling, whatever you choose to do, therapy, whatever, like any type of work that is work on yourself for yourself, you should never think about timelines. Just like I tell you with magic, same thing with everything, because there are none. It's gonna depend on you, solely on you, and you can't force this. You can't force the change. It just needs to happen. So be patient, give yourself time, and just don't go into it with the attitude of okay, is it gonna happen now? Is it gonna happen now? Because that's like sabotaging the whole work in the beginning before it even started. Go into it with like interest and a willingness to explore yourself, and like it's something that you need to do your whole life. So it's not something that you can be one and done and oh now I'm high vibrational and I'm perfect, and that's never gonna happen. So just go into it with like passion and interest, and that's the point, like that it's gonna be interesting to you and that you're gonna be enjoying it. Whatever method you're doing, I do advise combining more than one, obviously, but make sure that you enjoy the process, because it can be very interesting and like very nice and very soothing, and that's what you need. And when you are low vibrational and victim mentality, it really does help. So that would be one of my biggest advices. Another one would be to stop, obviously, texting, calling, trying to reach out. If you're blocked, just end it. And when that expectation is gone, you know how when you send a text and then you have that anxious expectation of the message, and when it's gone, it's gonna be a lot easier to kind of focus on yourself and on managing your emotions. So sometimes getting blocked can actually be helpful, because you're no longer expecting a message or expecting a text back. And it's really horrible in the beginning, but then later it just kind of helps you to settle your emotions. And remember that everything is a process. Please remember that you can't do a quick fix with anything in life. You can't have a quick fix with the vibrational work. You can't have a quick fix with magic. If you need to heal from a breakup and you don't want to get back together, you can't speed it up. You can't. There is no quick fix. Everybody heals in their own time. If you lose a loved one, you can't do a quick fix to heal about that either. No way. So with nothing, there basically there is no quick fix in life, guys. There is none, and you gotta be aware of that, and you gotta just give yourself time. And while you are working on yourself, while you are waiting for your spells to manifest, while you are like doing all of that process, you need to live and have the best time that you can, um, because that's the point. And vibrational work is something that you need to do always anyways. And in the meantime, you absolutely need to live your life. You're not just going to be sitting at home all day doing vibrational work, right? So you gotta combine everything. You gotta, like you gotta live your life to the fullest, because in this specific vessel you only have one life, and you want to make the best of it and you want to live it. So that is my advice. Always remember that basically where neediness is coming from, mechanics behind it will help you. And then just the fact that the reason why you're needy and obsessed is not because your ex is so perfect, and it's not because you're going to die without them, because you're clearly not going to die. It's because you're triggered and you're afraid, and you don't want to be abandoned. You have this fear of abandonment, or something else that's behind it. It's not going to be the same for everyone again, but for the majority of the people it will be that fear of abandonment that gets triggered. So be aware of it and understand that you're never alone, and you're never really abandoned. You always have your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your ancestors right by your side, and of course yourself. And I'm sure that you have, so many wonderful people in your lives. Anyways, guys, I truly hope that this was helpful. I know how difficult it can be, just dealing with obsessiveness and neediness, but you can totally work with that.